I've just programmed the occupancy switch to turn the lights off on my ceiling 1 minute after I leave the room. Now you can set the occupancy switch to do this for 1 minute, 5 minutes, 15 minutes, or 30 minutes. And there is a diagram in the directions that shows you how to do that. So for example, if I want to set it for 5 minutes, so if I want my light to go off 5 minutes after I leave the room, I press and hold the button until the light on the occupancy switch goes on and off 1, 2, 3 times. Okay? So again, you can program the occupancy switch timeout period by pressing and holding this big button right here. The second thing that you can do is set the sensor mode on your occupancy switch. The sensor mode is whether or not you want it to turn on automatically and off automatically when you enter and leave the room. If you want to do that, what you do is you press this tab on the right hand side. If you press and hold that tab, and the light goes on and off once, you've just set the occupancy switch to auto on, auto off mode. That's also called occupancy mode. When you enter the room, it goes on. When you leave the room, it goes off. Now, if I hold this tab and the light goes on and off on the switch 2 times, so 1, 2, I've just set the occupancy switch to manual on and auto off. That's vacancy mode. What that means is when I walk into the room, I have to press the button here and the light will go on, but when I leave, it will automatically go off after a certain time frame. 1 minute, 5 minutes, 15, 30 minutes, you name it. Okay? Now, the third advanced setting that you can do on the occupancy switch is setting the motion sensitivity to low or high. Okay, so if you want to do that, you have to press, if you want to set the motion sensitivity to low, you press and hold the big button here and the tab on the right until the light on the switch goes on and off once. That just set the motion sensitivity to low. Now, if you want it to be very high, which I do because as soon as I enter the room, I want it to go on. I want the light to go on in my ceiling. You press and hold both the big button and the tab on the right until the light on the switch goes on and off twice, like it just did. So that's how you set the different modes and programs on your occupancy switch.